I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, July the 19th, brought to you in part by Fairpiece, that revolutionary product that's scientifically proven, if given at weaning, tests show that a 15 to 20% increase in average daily gain post-weaning will be realized. You gotta try it, guys. It's only $3 a dose or less if you buy in bulk. For more information, go to fairpiece.com. Friday is Unionville Livestock Market and Creston Livestock Market Day. I talked to Kurt Sporleader on Thursday. He said on Tuesday at Unionville Livestock Market, this Tuesday coming, they're going to have about 1,000 head of top quality feeders there, including the Rockin' R or Smokin' R consignment. They've got 4 loads of feeder steers coming in there. They'll weight from 875 to 900 pounds, and you know how much those buyers love those. And also Brundage is going to have a load of 600 to 650 pound steers in there. In Creston Livestock, in Creston, Iowa, just north of there, they're going to have their big barbecue special coming up on August the 21st. He also said in northern Missouri and southern Iowa, it's been wet around, not a lot of livestock moving right now. They've got green pastures and they're busy listening to that corn grow up there. So, but check them out next Tuesday for the big sale at Unionville Livestock Market, and then put on your calendars for that barbecue special at Creston on August the 21st. Pins and needles. Pins and needles is what we're waiting on here this Friday for the Cattle on Feed report. I mean, we feel like that we could be on the cusp of a tipping point. Your traders and your speculators are wanting to break this board and they're wanting to ride it down, but fundamentals don't say that we're ready for that yet. So who's going to win out? The Cattle on Feed report could spur us staying where we're at and maybe even gaining, or they could spur a sell-off. We're not sure. But they are calling for 101.2% of cattle on feed as the same report a year ago, which that's troubling because we know we've got less cattle and there's lots of places for them to be outside the feedlot. Calling for placements to be 97.0 of a year ago and marketings to be just 91.8% of a year ago. I feel like there's room in the average of the analyst guess to be a bullish or positive report for the cattle market, but you have to remember, and I don't know if that helps at all, but you got to remember we are taking these cattle to heavier weights, dramatically higher than what we've taken them in the past, and so you know that takes time, and they're going to be on feed longer. We also have more cattle on feed that are beef on dairy. We don't see hardly any veal slaughter anymore. More of those dairy calves are becoming crossbred calves with the beef semen that these buyers are giving the dairies to give to those cows, so that they go buy those calves back and make them beef on dairy crossbreds that the packers love because they light up all the fireworks on the grid when you send them in. But those also take time because they go on feed at a very much lighter weight. So when we've got cattle being on feed for longer, we're liable to have more cattle on feed as we go through there. But not sure if anybody will pay attention to that. But big day in the political world. If you remember on Saturday, I shared with you guys I had a best friend pass away, and also my hero. They tried to shoot him and take him down. But on Thursday, we had a wonderful celebration of life from a good friend, Pat Flannery, full of old stories and lots of friends, and enjoyed that time meeting with them and sharing stories about our old buddy that went down. But also on the Republican National Convention there, we saw Trump come out and give an amazing speech. And if you guys watch the convention on Thursday and you're still thinking about voting democratically, I think you got to check your pulse, or maybe check yourself or look at yourself in the mirror. But you know, I love the song that he played right after his amazing speech. The song was "Hold On, I'm a Comin'," and I cannot wait until we get him back in office, and I sure hope that happens. Talk about some big sales that's coming up here this week. Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri, this Monday, the 22nd. They're going to have a big feeder sale there. They've got a huge consignment coming from the Willard Cattle Company. Be 428 head of home-raised black steers right off the grass there in central Missouri, guys. They got a load of 850-pound steers, a load of 800-pound steers, 2 loads weighing 7.5, load weighing 675, and a load weighing 6 1/4. Also later next week, Callaway is going to be having their first video auction with help from DVAuction, and it's going to be a replacement sale. They've got bred heifers, bred cows, and pairs on that sale. I'll be telling you more about that next week. But every month we feature one of our big sales, one of our auction markets. That's what we do here on the Feeder Flash, is we feature auction markets because we believe that's the best way to sell cattle, is to the highest bidder and not to the final offer, guys. But this month, your YTEX Market of the Month is the Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City. Couldn't deny them that after the show that they put on last month for the World Livestock Auctioneer Championship. It's a historical place. A lot of people got to come in there and absorb that history there, and they did such a good job putting that sale on. And the Oklahoma National Stockyards are alive and well, and we're sure glad to have them, guys. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. August live cattle futures were down hard, down 202, kind of erasing the gains that we'd seen earlier in the week at 182 1/4. Still that huge basis, and we are ever so closer to August, and that's our spot month, which frustrates me so much with your live cattle contract. October live cattle down 255 at 183.02. Your back months were all down big from 152 to down 232. August feeder cattle were also down because your live cattle were down, of course. But August contracts on feeder cattle down 232 at 256.22. They are now trading at a discount to your CME cash feeder cattle index there, and they have been trading out ahead of there for quite a while. September feeder cattle down 255, ending the Thursday trade at 257 even. Your back months were also down $2 to down 245, and you couldn't get an LRP on Friday here. Can't get one because the cattle on feed report, and that's a new rule with them. December corn down 6 3/4 cents at 405. That's unbelievable, with December corn down over 6 cents a bushel there, and your feeder cattle down over $2. But that's the way it went on Thursday. November beans up 2 cents at 10.43 a bushel. September Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 1 3/4 cents a bushel at 5.62 3/4. Fat cattle trade, we saw the Northern Plains trade on Thursday. We saw the Southern Plains trade most of their cattle on Wednesday, and they were largely steady. But with the board being down hard on Thursday, your Northern Plains did not gain any ground. It's going to be close to steady because I did hear of some 198 that traded later in the day on Thursday. But up through 2 o'clock when they turned the information in, Iowa sold 6,300. They'd only sold 7,100 for the week. Live sales in Iowa on Thursday from 193 to 197, and dress sales at 310. Your dress sales are going to be down quite a bit, maybe as much as $5. But your live sales not down that much, and like I said, I heard of some 198 trading up there, which was the top of last week's spread. Nebraska sold 6,400 on Thursday early. They'd only sold 6,500 for the week, so only 100 before that. Live sales in Nebraska only 196. That would be $2 lower. Dress sales from 309 to 310. Kansas sold a few more cattle on Thursday, 300 head. They've sold 7,400 for the week, and the only price we saw on Thursday was 310 dressed on some northern Kansas cattle, trading right along with the Northern Plains there. Texas only sold 600 on Thursday. They've sold 7,200 for the week, which is a big negotiated movement for them. But the price on Thursday was 186 to predominantly and most all 188, which would be steady. And on Wednesday, they sold the bulk of their cattle from 188, and we saw some 188.5 on Wednesday out of Texas. A fat cattle auction in Kelowna, Iowa. Pretty good sale there. They had 750 head of slaughter cattle. A lot of good fat steers and heifers there, sold from 195 to 203.50 with competitive bidding there in an auction setting. Box beef cutout values were mixed, but choice cuts lost more ground. They've been losing ground like crazy here. Choice cuts down 201 at 316.15. Select up 102 at 299.46. Your slaughter up through the first 4 days of the week, 475,000. That's just 1,000 less than the same point last week, but 18,000 less than the same week a year ago. And a lot of that is cows and bulls because they're just not out there, guys. Your actual slaughter information come back for the week ending July the 6th. Had your average dressed steer carcass weight at 916 pounds, moving up 5 pounds from the previous report. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, that's Dakota Moss there in Oklahoma City. And he wanted me to remind you that here on Friday, of course, you lost a lot of ground on your out front feeder cattle, but there will be no prices. You can't lock in your LRPs here on Friday. That's a new rule because of the cattle on feed report, because things are always so volatile through that. It's a new change there. But you can check out the website. You can get you can fill out an application right there. You can get ahead of the game, and then on Friday or on Monday you can grab a hold of a price out there and ensure the cattle's price there. But check them out and all the agents that help Dakota there with Livestock Risk Services at livestockriskservices.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DVAuction. Late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 255.79. That was up a little bit, and it had been falling, but up 58 cents. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index still running higher than that at 259.26. Talk about your big sales that happened on Thursday. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas sold 2,800 head. Had a good sale there. The steer calves and a lot of calves in Salina, even though cattle are moving out of the Flint Hills, and they're just at the north end of the Flint Hills there, but steer calves, and they did note that a lot of the unweaned steer calves were selling just as good as the weaned steer calves if they had a good vaccination program, but the steer calves were $5 to $8 higher. Heifer calves were not well tested. Feeder steers were mostly $3 lower than last week's high marks, and feeder heifers $2 to $4 higher. I'm going to give you several quotes from all over, and we did see some impressive quotes, you know, even though we're seeing this market just a little bit off from what it was maybe 2 weeks ago. But El Dorado Livestock Auction in El Dorado, Kansas, they're getting cattle right in off the blue stem too, but they had some lighter feeders there that sold really well on Thursday. 70 head of steers in El Dorado weighed 683 and bring $3 a pound, and that's a big price, guys. How about Woodward Livestock Auction out there in western Oklahoma? They sell 67 steers, weighed 788 at 257.50. That's pretty impressive. But man, they sell them out east, guys, because they've got green yearlings coming in too. Bluegrass Stockyard South in Stanford, Kentucky, through the ring there, they sell 67 feeder steers, weighed 811 pounds at 264. You got to put a lot of wheels under them to get them to any kind of a feedlot there. But going on to some other big sales, how about Clarinda, Iowa? Clarinda Livestock Auction, DVAuction broadcaster there. They sold 65 steers, weighed 887, nearly 900 pounds, guys, and bring 265.75. We're getting close to harvest, boys. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Columbus Sales Pavilion in Columbus, Nebraska. The auctioneer there, Kurt Witovic, told me about these. I looked them up. 60 head of steers, weighed 1029 and bring 260. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.